Hello everybody and welcome to another Deep Miner Devlog. To start today's video off, I just want to say that I have tried and failed to change the art of the game, but whatever I do, it just looks bad and I have no idea how to fix that. So for those reasons, the art will stay like this for some time. I've tried it twice and asked some friends to help me decide which one looks the best between all three, and it was mostly on the side of the original art, so I decided to stay with it. Now, I want to first go over the very important stuff, and then we will go to the less important stuff. So, the most important thing, I have made changes to the main menu, and firstly, there's a difference in its design, because I realized that one thing all the projects I work on have in common is the main menu, and the other menus in general. They're all very plain and boring. The main menu is the first thing the player sees when he goes into the game. It should be at least a little enticing. Of course, this is far from what it can be, but this looks much better than it did before, so I'm very happy. I also made this cool pan effect, which makes it feel a little more alive, and right now I'm just using some placeholder art. I'll change it in the future, of course, but just for now I decided to stick to these placeholder images. Now, a funny thing, when I was working on this, I actually fixed a problem that I didn't even know I would encounter, and that's a scaling issue. I was thinking like, okay, it's going to pan, but if the resolution is too big, it's going to go out of the camera's view. But I set the background to scale with the screen size prior to making the pan effect, so even if the screen was resized, the background is scaling with it. Such an easy fix to a problem I wasn't even thinking of. There is still a problem if the window is really wide but very short, but since that is never going to happen, I'm just going to leave it as is. And also, the old main menu, damn, the scaling was a big issue there, because if you weren't in a specific window size, it would look odd, and that wasn't a problem because it was a web build of the game, meaning it was played in a browser, and I was able to set the game's screen size to be a specific size which you couldn't change. But I think it shouldn't stay a web build, but it should become a standalone build. A standalone build means that you can download the .exe file and run it directly from your PC, instead of launching it on the itch.io page, which makes more sense for this game. This is something that I'll think about more, but I strongly believe that I'm going to change to a standalone build, mostly because of the saving system. It would be better and easier to implement, but I also believe that the game should be played offline and not online. Since the game has no online features, it has no sense to be played solely online. The only reason it was published as a web build is because it was made for a game jam. But alright, enough about the build type, that's not important right now. I also added some animation to the buttons and dabbled a little with their position until I got this. I will change their look, and I was thinking of changing the name of the game because this is a bad name, but I'll give it more thought, and if I change it you will see it in the next devlog. You might have also noticed an achievement button. Last time I didn't work on a menu for the achievements because I wanted to kind of speed up the work and finish the video, because I had a pretty long pause for making videos. So I did it now. Here you can see it showing the achievements, their titles, descriptions and images. There are also some secret achievements which you need to find yourself. Seeing as the game isn't very big currently, they shouldn't be too hard to find. I also want to rework the help menu. I didn't spend much time on it at all when it was first made, because I had a short amount of time to finish the game, and the help menu was the least of my worries then. At the time of making it, the game had less content and was smaller and much different. A lot of the info there doesn't really work anymore, and none of the new content is there. For example, you don't just touch the shop to sell anymore. You get a choice on how much you want to sell and what to sell. You also need to interact with it by pressing E. You don't move in the direction of the drill. This was the first change. You move in any direction you choose. So what did I do to help menu? Well, I'm actually still thinking about that. You would think that making a help menu is easy, right? Just explain all the mechanics in the game. And yeah, that is pretty much what a help menu does. You just explain everything and put it into one special scene called help scene. But that's a very poor way to explain the game to a player. making a short tutorial seems the most logical for the game. And I do believe that's what I'm going to do. So the first time you load into a new world, you're greeted by someone, and he explains the fuel, tells you to go down, mine some stone, and sell it. He then explains the upgrades to you and just lets you continue on your own, later on appearing once you find an elevator to explain how they work and that you firstly need to repair them and stuff like that. It's a very user-friendly way to explain how the game works, and I can make it skippable for the people that understand how it works. This would remove the help menu in its entirety, which is absolutely fantastic, and I can always give the player the option to redo the tutorial. But that is something that I'm going to do in the future. I just wanted to share this concept with you and get your thoughts on it. Any kind of feedback on the game or this is helpful, so if you have any thoughts on what I should change, implement, remove, maybe have some ideas, leave a comment or send me a message on Discord. There is a link to my server in the description. And I've already been talking about some scaling issues, so there is also another scaling issue that can occur while playing. For example, seeing beyond the end regions of the world when in a bad aspect ratio, or seeing below or above the world. So to fix that, I'm using a little workaround that shows the camera region that the game uses and adds black bars for the parts that shouldn't be seen. You can see that working here. If I change the aspect ratio to something that shows the outside, it displays black bars there, so that you're kind of forced to use 16:9. It's a cheap way to get around it, but for now it's great since the game is actually just a thin long rectangle. For now at least. No spoilers. I'll just glance over these two quickly. I fixed some bugs with the elevators and finished them up completely, so now they work as they should. And I added an animation for the drill. There was no reason to do this, and I did nothing else connected to animations except the buttons. It's just that the drill animation was supposed to be here from the beginning, so it just seemed logical. Some other quick little changes, like restarting by button now asks if you are sure you want to restart. And I want to say it does look out of place currently with that black background, and all the UI looks so weird. I know that, and I understand that. I haven't yet started working on the UI design because I believe that doing that will be pretty easy to do after I finish all the technical stuff, so that I know exactly what I need done and can do it all at once. And another really important thing, I'll play the rest of the video showing off the restart button. Of course, it works completely normally, but what occurs is a bug in the generation script, which surprised me. I thought I made the generation script and that it has no problems. I didn't think there would be any way for it to just fail. Here we are, a game-breaking bug, and I will fix it. I think I know where the problem is. I just wanted to share with you a little behind the scenes of what can sometimes occur while filming these devlogs. I know this sounds stupid, but this is part of the game development. And even if it is a short little video, you can see what can happen when working on something. I just want you to know I am trying, I am working. If devlogs sometime take a week or two or a month, believe me when I say none of the time was wasted. I'm trying to make them a weekly thing, and I believe I can say that you can expect something new next week. But that will be all for today, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.